Forget gear. This is what keeps you alive when SHTF. Let's cut the noise for a second. When the world starts burning, when order cracks, food vanishes, and everything you thought was stable flips upside down, there's only one skill that never betrays you. Not shooting, not farming, not even fighting. It's adaptability. The ability to pivot, improvise, and outthink chaos. That's the skill that separates the ones who survive from the ones who just prepared. And if you're serious about learning what really keeps you alive when SHTF, you're in the right place. So go ahead and hit subscribe now, because what you'll get here will rewire the way you think about survival itself. Preparation can become a trap. Let's be honest, most preppers are preparing to die in comfort. They've built bunkers full of canned food, stocked ammo, learned bushcraft, built routines. But here's the cold truth. Preparation built around prediction is a trap. Every skill, every tool, every plan assumes the world will fall apart in a specific way. But when collapse hits, it doesn't follow your playbook. It hits where you're blind. That's how empires die and how soldiers break. Even in World War II, the best prepared armies got blindsided. France built the Maginot Line, an engineering masterpiece meant to stop invasion. It didn't matter. The enemy simply went around it. Perfection became a prison. That's what happens to anyone who thinks stockpiling equals survival. Your plans make sense until reality stops caring. Survival isn't about having the most. It's about thinking fastest. Adaptability isn't a tactic. It's a biological law. Nature runs on it. From bacteria to humans, the species that adjust quickest don't just survive, they dominate. World War II is the ultimate case study in that truth. When soldiers were cut off behind enemy lines, it wasn't training manuals that saved them. It was the ones who could switch gears on instinct, the ones who could fight 1 minute, negotiate the next, and vanish when needed. Adaptability means you never freeze. When everyone else is panicking because the plan's gone to hell, you're already building Plan B from the ruins of Plan A. It's not about confidence. It's about velocity. The faster you adjust, the longer you live. Here's the ugly side of mastery. What makes you strong in one context can cripple you in another. Experts, ironically, die faster in unpredictable conditions because they trust their systems too much. The mechanic who can rebuild an engine blindfolded, he's a legend until fuel runs out. The farmer with perfect soil science, done for when he has to flee the land. The medic with high-end tools, useless once supplies run dry. In every war zone, famine or collapse, people who survived weren't necessarily the most skilled, they were the most fluid. The ones who could turn trash into tools, switch trades overnight, or learn something new under pressure. Your identity, I'm a shooter, I'm a gardener, I'm a medic, is your biggest vulnerability. The second the world doesn't need that skill, you're obsolete. Adaptability means shedding that identity and becoming whatever the situation demands. Adaptability isn't magic. It's trained like a muscle. You build it through friction, discomfort, and forced improvisation. That means you intentionally break your own systems before the world does. Start by stripping away your comforts. Cook without your stove. Build fire without a lighter. Patch gear using nothing but scraps. Push yourself to operate without your go-tos. This isn't about proving toughness, it's about rewiring your brain to solve problems dynamically. In World War II, resistance fighters were experts in this. When radios were banned, they built transmitters out of scrap metal and wire. When weapons ran out, they made Molotovs from bottles and fuel. That wasn't desperation. That was adaptability weaponized. Your brain must learn to see function, not form. A broken umbrella isn't trash. It's wire, hooks and fabric. A busted car battery isn't dead weight. It's energy storage waiting to be harnessed. Once you start thinking in raw materials, the world becomes one big toolkit. When SHTF, your biggest enemy, isn't hunger or cold, it's panic. Humans crash when emotions take over decision-making. That's where adaptability fuses with mental discipline. You don't suppress emotion, you compartmentalize it. In World War II, medics on the front lines developed something called battle calm. They felt fear, but they boxed it until the job was done. You need that same switch. Feel later. Think now. Every emotion becomes data, not direction. This isn't about turning cold. It's about staying operational. You can't afford to be paralyzed by what's happening. Adaptability is mental triage. Assess, act, survive. That's how you stay alive long enough to rebuild. Let's talk, people. In any collapse, humans are both the biggest threat and the biggest resource. Adaptability here means reading people faster than they read you. Groups that survive aren't always the strongest. They're the most balanced. Stable groups share information, act transparently, and distribute power. Unstable groups hide, lie, and turn on each other when pressure spikes. You need to master social pattern recognition. Know who panics, who plots, who leads. In World War II, underground resistance networks didn't survive because of firepower. They survived because they could read intent. They spotted traitors before betrayal happened. In modern collapse, it's the same. Your awareness of people is your early warning system. Adaptability isn't just reacting to the environment, it's managing the psychology around you. If you want to train adaptability for real, start with stress simulations. Give yourself 10 minutes to solve a practical problem when your first idea fails. That timer teaches your mind to work under compression. Then cross-train outside your comfort zone. If you're tactical, learn mechanical repair. If you're a gardener, learn navigation. The more skills you can connect, the stronger your web of solutions becomes. Finally, invert value. Take something useless and make it useful. Turn waste into weaponry. That's not creativity, it's survival literacy. World War II scavengers made radios, weapons and shelter out of bomb debris. Their environment didn't limit them, it trained them. You can replicate that mindset now, before chaos forces you to. Everything you own can burn, break or be stolen. Every system you build can collapse. Every skill you've mastered can become irrelevant. But adaptability is untouchable. It doesn't depend on tools, it doesn't depend on circumstances. It's the only skill that scales infinitely because it lives in your mind. It's what made humans survive ice ages, world wars, and everything in between. And when the next collapse comes, and it will, adaptability will once again be the last skill standing. When the dust settles, it won't be the best prepared who make it out. It'll be the fastest thinkers, the quiet rebuilders, the ones who can reinvent themselves at will. So start training that mindset now. Break your routines. Learn to improvise. Challenge your assumptions. Because the world doesn't reward those who know the most. it rewards those who change the fastest. If this hit you hard, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who still thinks prepping is about stockpiling. Here on Prepper's Survival Blueprint, we don't just prepare for the world to fall apart. We prepare to outsmart it. Stay ready, stay adaptable, and keep your survival blueprint alive.